Before Catherine entered his life, Prince William was a grieving young man carrying the weight of a crown he never asked for. He was guarded, cautious, and uncertain about the future. Today, he stands as a confident heir, a devoted husband, and a modern father admired around the world. So what changed? Many royal watchers believe the answer isn't a palace advisor, a royal protocol handbook, or years of constitutional training. The answer is Catherine Middleton. When people talk about the future of the British monarchy, they usually focus on Prince William. After all, he is the future king. But behind every future king is a story that shaped him. And in William's case, that story begins with a young woman he met at university. Today, we're taking a closer look at how Catherine transformed William's life, strengthened his confidence, and helped shape the future monarch Britain will one day depend on. Let's get into it. The prince who wasn't ready. Long before he became the polished royal we see today, Prince William was struggling with challenges most people could hardly imagine. When he arrived at the University of St. Andrews in 2001, he was only 19 years old. Just 4 years earlier, he had lost his mother, Princess Diana, in one of the most public tragedies in modern history. Every move he made was watched. Every friendship was scrutinized. Every relationship became front-page news. Friends from that period often described William as reserved and cautious. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. How do you trust people when you never know whether they're interested in you or in the title you'll someday inherit? William wasn't just another university student. He was the future king, and that came with an enormous burden. But then someone entered his life who treated him differently. Someone who saw William before she saw the prince. That person was Catherine Middleton. Why Catherine was different. The story of William and Catherine didn't begin as a fairy tale romance. It began as a friendship. They attended classes together. They shared social circles. They spent time with mutual friends. And according to numerous accounts over the years, Catherine never appeared intimidated by William's royal status. She didn't treat him like a celebrity. She didn't place him on a pedestal. She simply treated him like a normal young man. That may sound simple, but for William, it was probably revolutionary. For perhaps the first time in years, someone wasn't approaching him because of the crown. They were approaching him because of who he was. Royal biographers have frequently pointed to this dynamic as one of the foundations of their relationship. Catherine brought normality into a life that had very little of it. She was grounded. She was practical. She came from a close-knit family. And she offered stability during a period when William needed it most. As their friendship deepened, so did their connection. Eventually, friendship became love. And by the time they graduated, it was clear this relationship was becoming something serious, surviving the pressure. Falling in love is one thing. Surviving royal life is another. As Catherine became more visible, media attention intensified dramatically. Suddenly, every outfit was analyzed. Every expression was dissected. Every public appearance became a story. Criticism came from all directions. Some tabloids questioned her career. Others mocked her relationship timeline. The infamous nickname, Weighty Katie, became a constant talking point. For many people, that level of scrutiny would be overwhelming. Some relationships would have collapsed under the pressure. Instead, William stood by her. And that's where one of the most important chapters of their story begins. William had witnessed firsthand what relentless media pressure could do. He watched his mother endure it. He lived through it. And many observers believe he was determined not to let history repeat itself. Rather than allowing outside pressure to define their relationship, they weathered the storm together. Those difficult years became a test, and passing that test strengthened their bond. Sometimes adversity doesn't break a relationship. Sometimes it proves how strong it already is. A future king finds his confidence. In November 2010, William proposed to Catherine using the sapphire engagement ring that once belonged to Princess Diana. It was a deeply personal gesture, a way of connecting the woman he loved with the mother he had lost. During their engagement interview, William said something that still resonates today. He talked about how much Catherine made him laugh. That might sound like a small detail, but it reveals something important. Behind the titles, ceremonies, and constitutional responsibilities, William was looking for something simple: happiness, partnership, trust. And over the years, those qualities appear to have strengthened him. Compare William today with the young man who arrived at St. Andrews. The difference is striking. He appears more confident, more comfortable, more relaxed, more willing to engage with the public, more willing to show emotion. That's not necessarily because he changed who he was. It's because he found someone who helped bring out the best version of himself, the family behind the crown. Perhaps nowhere is Catherine's influence more visible than in William's role as a husband and father. Royal families of previous generations often projected formality above all else. The modern Wales family presents something different. People see William and Catherine attending school events, sharing family photographs, talking openly about parenting, laughing with their children. Of course, they remain royals, but they also present themselves as a family, and that matters, because public perception of the monarchy increasingly depends on relatability. The image of William, Catherine, George, Charlotte, and Louis has become one of the institution's greatest strengths. It gives people something they can connect with, something human, something real. Many commentators believe Catherine has played a central role in creating that image, not through dramatic speeches or attention-grabbing headlines, but through consistency, through stability, through showing up year after year. A partnership, not a competition. One of the most remarkable aspects of William and Catherine's relationship is that it appears built on mutual support rather than rivalry. As Catherine's popularity has grown, William has never seemed threatened by it. In fact, he often appears proud of her success. That's important because strong partnerships require confidence. A less secure person might resent sharing the spotlight. William often seems comfortable stepping back and allowing Catherine to shine. And Catherine, in turn, supports William's role as future king. It's a partnership where both individuals strengthen one another. And in many ways, that partnership has become one of the monarchy's greatest assets. Because the public isn't simply watching a future king, they're watching a team. Why Catherine matters to the monarchy. The British monarchy faces challenges that previous generations never encountered. Public expectations have changed. Media landscapes have changed. Trust in institutions has changed. In that environment, popularity alone isn't enough. The monarchy needs figures who can connect with people, who can represent stability, who can inspire confidence. For many observers, Catherine has become exactly that figure. Her work on early childhood development, her focus on mental health, her ability to engage with people from all walks of life. These qualities have helped make her one of the most respected members of the royal family. And as William moves closer to the throne, Catherine's role is likely to become even more significant. Not because she seeks power, but because influence often comes from trust. And trust is something she has spent years building. At the end of the day, Catherine didn't transform William by changing who he was. She transformed him by helping him become the person he was always capable of being. Together, they've built a partnership that has endured media pressure, family challenges, and public scrutiny. And as the monarchy moves into a new era, that partnership may prove to be one of its greatest strengths. What do you think? Has Catherine been the most important influence in Prince William's life and future role as king? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal stories, insights, and behind-the-scenes analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.